Hi guys, my name is Dante, and welcome back to this guy. So we're just continuing the previous episode where we talked a little bit about how to turn a black and white drawing slash painting into a colorful finalized painting, and we dropped everything at this stage. So today let's continue and finalize this concept. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be working on the whole thing, including the full height version, so let's go ahead and fill it up with the transparent black layer and then see how we want to colorize it. If you have some overlaying brush strokes that result in a too opaque of a overlay, like if I would make another stroke, it becomes darker and you get these obvious things, you just choose the blender of your preference and blend it together like that. Works like a charm. So yeah, let's see how this will turn out since we already have the blue environment, so pretty much the whole character is blue. But yeah, let's do the overlay colorizing. Oh yeah, this is working so well when you have a good, like, far from white. This filler of transparent black all over the sketch, it works really well for working in overlay mode afterwards. And now I'll be able to do a good red thing here. Let's go a bit more orange. We need to choose a bit warmer colors now because the blue environment will make everything too cold, which is also a thing you might want to have. So you want to know like what this color will look like in a cold ambience. So initially we choose this kind of almost orange color. It is orange, but in such a cold environment it will look like this, pretty much pale red. What's really cool about colorizing in overlay specifically, first of all, it's arguably an advantage that it gives you color variation, like you get a bit of a weird colors sometimes, which actually may turn out really cool, like what we have on the picture on the right. The way the color is distorting on the red pipe is kind of cool and sort of complex, but it's not what I would want if I would be in full control of the situation. So it's kind of like almost in full control, but gives you a little bit extra stuff with the colors, making them look a bit more interesting. And you sort of can control it distantly, like you get to learn how exactly colors get distorted in overlay mode after a while of practicing. And also what's really cool, comparing to multiply or anything else, overlay can actually not just colorize materials, but actually like paint them with a certain color. For instance, white is not a color, it's brightness. So I want to paint this rim right here white, and I chose white color or something close to it, something higher than middle, and I'm actually painting it into a bright surface, which is impossible to do in multiply mode or colorize mode. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually like adding new details right now that I didn't specify in this view in Sketch, and in here as well. Yep, it's been 2 days, it's Monday right now. I am literally getting the same crap today as in the previous episode with the neighbors drilling something. Should we make boots red as well? Kind of a bit too much of red. I don't think they would be red in this kind of... I don't even know what kind of outfit this is. It looks kind of technical, maybe underwater, and also it's like a robe that you do something in. It's not underwater, there are boots, right? That's not what you wear underwater. So, I don't know, it may be some kind of protection from radiation, and it's like missing some kind of hat. And that's why we have a monster, because radiation turns people into monsters, you know? So I don't know, boots should probably be a bit darker than the robe, and of pretty much the same color. Kinda boring, right? Let's choose something different for the main robe color, aside from this top cover thing. Let's maybe make the top cover a bit warmer gray. Yeah, something like that. Pretty cool, experimenting with the colors of the outfit right on the fully detailed sketch in a way. Well, fully featured with all the limbs in place and everything, so you can really read the style of what you're deciding on. Hard light, how do you like that? Actually, switching these around could help with finding some interesting art styles, I would say. So yeah, soft light is a lot of the times preferred mode by many artists, but right now I think it just doesn't really work well, especially if you want to paint something that would be also white or dark, black. It really loses a lot to overlay. Overlay really gives a much better control. But again, maybe if I would start in soft light, I would choose just much brighter colors. Yeah, still, this is too dull. In overlay, I'm getting much better contrast. So yeah, I think overlay is the best, and other ones like hard light is good for experimenting with something. That's one hell of an experiment, but I actually can see how this is really cool. Getting such weird, crazy results in this middle stage of work is actually really cool, because then you will merge everything together and grab these colors and finalize your painting, which will make it look finalized and polished anyway, but you will get this cool, rich base with weird colors that may give you a very interesting result. So that's really cool. Again, many of these modes right now look really weird and unusable at all, but thing is, that's mostly because I painted all of these colors in overlay mode, so I was adjusting my colors to overlay, and if I would start at hard mix mode, I would just choose different colors, and it would still look decent, but it would react differently to light and dark and everything, so it would give you a different kind of feel to everything. So that's very usable, and just keep in mind that this is not the thing you will have to be dealing with if you would just work in hard mix right away. This is looking so cool, like stylized watercolor sketch by some hipster in his art book. So yeah, I think I'm happy with what I'm looking at. Now I'm gonna merge the colors and this darkening layer and get one layer, and I'll just start shading as I always do. Actually, first I'm gonna shade the full height version a little bit. I think I did something like that in the previous episode on the portrait thing as well. But this time I'm gonna use probably darken mode, since shadow, it darkens. Multiply is also good, but not exactly always. It may get you to, like, absolute black. And you know my stance on using perfectly black and perfectly white colors in your painting. That's never really a good idea. So if you use darken, you just choose the color of the shadow and you paint, and you will never get darker than what you already have on the picture or the color you chose. It's just choosing the darker one. And it's also, as far as I remember, it gives you a pretty cool color abstraction, color distortions that might be actually useful. So let's see how that turns out. So yeah, I'm gonna be quiet for a little while and you just watch, you perv. Alright, so here we are, not done yet, but went through a lot of stuff and added some details, fixed some lighting the way I wanted to, and it's looking pretty cool now, I think. I gotta say, this stage feels a little bit tougher to actually turn into a complete painting. Because some of the elements, like, if I would have just started painting with colors right away, I wouldn't have to, like, deal with this edge. Apparently, I never really think about it a lot, but I don't always paint high detail on every single edge. Some of the stuff I just keep as it is, in the very first drafty state of it, and it's just fine, and it makes my life a lot easier. And in this case, it's not really possible, because you just want to get rid of all of the silhouettes, so you just have to do that brute force work of just erasing it. So that brings us to an interesting thought. We should probably make the sketch layer, the contours layer, a lot more transparent before blending everything together. That would make things a lot easier here. So let's say we had this stage still, and now I'm gonna grab that black and do the same thing for the full height version. By the way, as I'm thinking right now, I think in the previous episode what I did was I shaded, yeah, like this, like in this stage, I already shaded the character when I was creating this flat layer like this. So right now I would make all the faces that are facing downwards, or, well, not upwards, they would be darker than the ones that are at the top, and that would actually be a mistake, because this layer we need to colorize the character. Therefore, we need a consistent color of it everywhere. So we should actually go with completely flat first, then we colorize with overlay on top, and then we add shadows with darken layer on top of that. And that will give us a consistent color with good shadows and everything. But back to the thing that I wanted to say, I forgot what it was. Why did I do this? Oh, right. So then we colorize it. It's about making the sketch more transparent. So let's go with overlay. So let's say he's bright green and this is his ears now. You see, here we are getting a consistent color and nothing is gonna jump with different saturations and everything the way overlay does sometimes. So let's say we have a version like this. Now before merging everything, and by the way adding a solid white layer underneath as well, I would make this layer a lot more transparent. So we're kind of getting that hipster sketch, but with a little hint of the actual drawing on top. And we just search for a good amount so we would see everything we want to see. Something like this. So all the elements of the red cloth remain red. Nothing too dark like this. We don't have like black spots that are not very useful when you're turning something into a painting. So yeah, we start at this kind of stage after we merge. And from here, I'd grab this color. I'd just make it darker to make stronger shadows. This control of brush in Procreate got unused to it. And yeah, this would work out a lot faster, and the silhouette of the character is much more loose now because the watercolory spots of red have almost the same weight as the sketch lines since they have a lot less contrast. There. Yeah, that would be a really cool strategy. I think we'll do more stuff like that in the future episodes. I'm kind of into this way of painting now. It's fun, interesting, more ways to experiment with it, so that's cool. And maybe that will make me study sketching a bit more, which is also dope. So yeah, I don't even know what else do I want to do here. Let's shade boots and, well, full height version a bit more. Even though as is, it looks so cool as this semi-colorized sketch. It's just this concept vibe to it is so cool. I really like it. So yeah, let's do a bit more detailing and shading and we'll call it a day. And yeah, one last touch, especially on the full height version, adding highlights, because you don't colorize surfaces and add highlights at the same time. First, you pretty much shaded up everything, unless there are some reflections of the environment that you want to add, just blending in this blue into like edges of the suit, for instance, that is reflecting the environment. That's what you do, but still, again, after you merge everything. But when we're working an overlay in the middle stage of the painting, that stage is only about colorizing the surfaces. We're not rendering them, we're not adding reflections. And now we can do that since we're already going for a finalized look. And it's important because a highlight should have a different color, or at least saturation, than what the surface of the object has. So if I want to make the pipes reflective, I need to remove saturation. That would be hard to control if I would try to paint this kind of stuff in overlay mode, for instance. And the boots, they will go something like that. Looks pretty cool. Boom. Done. Probably. Really cool look. I don't know what this stuff on the chest is. Some kind of way to connect to, you know how when they work with really dangerous materials, they connect through like special holes for arms, and then they do like they pour the liquid into other things. And sometimes they even use like mechanical things that do that for them, and they're just controlling them. Maybe this is the connection thing that would let you do that with your brain or something. I don't know. Maybe it would give you some air. But again, this is not an underwater suit. I don't know. It looks almost cool, so that's it. I'm done. So yeah, tell me guys what you think. I really want to do more concept pictures like this for some characters, for SCP maybe, the same kind of look. It would be so cool. Maybe even better than making a full-blown storytelling picture. This kind of style has a much stronger vibe of SCP. So yeah, I think this would be much cooler. With a bit less of the sketchy parts left over, these ones. So a bit more finalized, that would be a really cool style for SCP. But for now, this is it. And I thank you for watching if you did. I guess I did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Check out my new stickers. That was very random. I just happened to get access to a bunch of stickers. So now this. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. And what about this dude? I don't think I'm gonna work on this one. He's too generic. No offense, but that's true.